The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Dear friends and co-workers, welcome to the Wesak webinar organized by the 2025 Initiative. My name is Alexander Ilchuk, and I'm welcoming you on behalf of the coordinating group of the 2025 Initiative. The 2025 Initiative provides a shared peer learning and meditative online space for groups and individuals from around the world. The 2025 Initiative organizes monthly full moon webinars with ageless wisdom groups and thought leaders from around the world. You can learn more about our work and schedule of our webinars on our website at 2025initiative.org. Today we have a special event preparing us for the Vesak ritual happening every year at the exact time of the May full moon. Today we, as members of the new group of world servers, will work together to bring our collective meditative focus in alignment with the hierarchical meditation on the plan for the next 9 years. On your screen you can see the quote from the Esoteric Psychology, Volume 2. This plan can only be sensed, visioned, and known in truth by the hierarchy, and then only in group formation and by those masters who can function in full monadic consciousness. They alone are beginning to comprehend what it is. Suffice it for the rest of those in the hierarchy, the initiates and disciples in their ordered ranks and various gradings, to cooperate with that immediate aspect of the plan which they can grasp and which comes down to them through the inspired minds of the directors at certain stated times and in certain specific years. Such a year was 1933. Such another will be in the year 1942. At those times when the hierarchy meets in silent conclave, a part of God's vision and His formulation of that vision for the immediate present is revealed for the next 9-year cycle. They then, in perfect freedom and with full mutual cooperation, lay their plans. Just
Там писать надо, там не говорить. Ну и говорите, и транслируйте.
apologize for the pause. They then, in perfect freedom and with full mutual cooperation, lay their plans to bring about the desired objectives to the heads of the hierarchy, as they in their turn cooperate with still higher forces and knowers. So such is the year of 2014. We know that none of us individually can know the plan, but we believe that we collectively can strive to approach the sense of the plan as the hierarchy meditates it during this year. At today's webinar, we will collectively meditate on the work to be done by the new group of world servers in the next 9 years. We don't have the luxury of the direct communication with the hierarchy these days, but we believe that our collective meditative effort can help us to approach understanding of the immediate objectives of our work as members of the new group of world servers. Today at our webinar, we have a distinctive panel of 11 guests, 11 representatives from 11 groups from around the world, who have been asked to meditate on the same question a month ago, starting from the Aries full moon. Today, our panel will share their impressions from the month-long meditation on this question that you see on your screen. Considering the next 9 years of preparation, what are our as World Service immediate objectives in service to humanity? How can we raise our efficiency as the new group of World Service while holding in alignment with the plan? This webinar was announced as a collective ritual, as it will have a different than usual format. In a minute, we will start with an alignment, leading us into the sharing that when the panelists will share their impressions and their thoughts on this question. They will go in an alphabetical order of their countries they represent. Each will have up to 5 minutes to present, and a sound of chimes will help us with tracking the time. After each presenter, we will have a short period of silence for reflection. Approximately 1 hour will go into meditation led by Philip Lindsay. After that, we will have 3 minutes of silence for reflection and writing down meditative impressions. After that, we will have a period of open floor when everyone in the audience would be welcome to share their impressions. A month ago, when we announced our question for the webinar, we also suggested that anyone would share own impressions on our Facebook page, and so we encourage you to do so after the webinar as well. But besides that, we will have a Google document share it with everyone on today's webinar, where everyone could write down your impressions. And later on, all the impressions from this document and from Facebook and from what our panelists will share today will be summarized in one document which will be published on our website. So now let's proceed with our alignment, going into our ritual. So let's align within ourselves, knowing oneself as a soul. We visualize the network of light covering the planet, where each dot of light is a member of the new group of world servers. We visualize people connecting to this webinar from around the world, coming in a circle to meditate together on the immediate objectives for the new group of world servers for the next 9 years. We bring our focus upwards, tuning in with the hierarchical meditation. We tune in with the heart center of the hierarchy, the Christ. We extend our alignment to the triangle of Shambhala, hierarchy, humanity. We offer our work today as a contribution to the work of service to humanity, assisting hierarchy in manifesting the plan. In the center of our group, we visualize the chalice of group impressions, where each of us will bring own impression during today's sharing. I invite our first panelist from Argentina, Martin Dieser.
Thank you. And one of the ways in which we can understand what may be ahead for us as humanity in the years to come has some relation with the keynote of love, that the new group as an entity, we have just simply to stand to abide at its heart, and from then to handle some certain energies. Some of them I will share some impressions with you, and these are the energies of will, intuition, and synthesis. There is, of course, the framework, the general framework in which we work, that comes in relation to the shambhalic impacts, the cosmic resonance, the planetary awakening that's happening everywhere. And the new group will probably have to continue working as it is, as an intermediary between the hierarchy and the whole of humanity, but increasingly introducing and handling better some energies if we are to protect, to shield humanity from the negative or more destructive effects of that energy. In that sense, and in connection with will, there's of course increasing alignment among humanity, hierarchy, and Shambhala, and this may lead to an increasing inflow of shambhalic energy, coming of course through the new group. And if we need to learn to handle better that energy as a group, with group consciousness, because as the shambhalic impulse reaches humanity, it will evoke light and shadow for equal, and this can be very destructive. So as the new group will probably have to be deeply embedded in the human field, deeply embedded in just the daily reality that we see, so as to allow the transformation take place, but in the less painful way as possible. Therefore, we'll have to learn not just to align and to look at the hierarchy, but introduce in our mental awareness, in our thought, the possibility of aligning with Shambhala. And of course, this can be done safely only through the heart. And of course, that some other thing that is happening, you may also agree with this, is that humanity is increasingly, and particularly the members of the new group, more intuitive and learning to abide more time in the Buddhic plane. So that's probably the way ahead, that we as a new group will have to play with the Buddhic reality that is always less fixed, less predictive, and probably more magical than the mental life, the mental plane. And at the same time that we embrace the mental plane and we tend the hand to those which are working there, we'll probably have to stand and to see what is ahead, and becoming from the Buddhic plane a conveyor of the will aspect. I also feel that there's one key to handle this connected with the heart, and it is to stand together as a group. We, as a group of the new group of servers, need to be aware, particularly in the esoteric field, that there are sometimes separations among us, that there are critics, and there are barriers, mental barriers. And how can we embrace humanity? How can we be one and stand as a radical example of humanity if we cannot be one with those who are nearer to us, either physically or mentally, intellectually? Therefore, I believe that in the years to come, there should be a strong appeal to the heart, to humility, to simplicity, perhaps to silence, so as to heal the web of service and to nurture the web of servers. We'll probably need to learn how to walk the way out of the mental plane, out of the mind, at the same time that remaining there, and help some others to tread that way. And this has much to do with synthesis as well. There's no need just to be united, to think the same or to work in the same fields, just to respect each other and to work in resonance under the same purpose. At the same time, of course, that we leave open the doors of the heart. So how much effective would be a new group that learned how to live in the Buddhic plane, and worked in loving resonance, understanding the difference and letting some higher magnetism act through us? Perhaps the last thought would be just the idea that if we are able to align with Shambhala through the heart as a group, and if we learn to work in respect, in that respect, in resonance among each other, we would become better mediators. I mean, the new group will probably be more effective energetically, and the transition towards the energy that are coming and the cycles that are upon us, well, will be less. Probably the evolution will be speeded up. So the challenges ahead may be many. This is just the view of them from one angle. I am looking forward to hearing what you have to say. In this way, in this angle, the way to begin is very simple. It will be done via the heart and stretching line among us. There's of course not just an opportunity, but it's a spiritual responsibility, our duty as servers, and it is just up to us to know how deep our answer will be, how our action will be electrified and enhanced, and unified in synthesis in the years to come. And probably Buddhi will and synthesis will be some elements to work with. Thank you.
I invite Philip Lindsay from Australia.
Thanks, Alex. Greetings from Wiltshire, Britain, actually. I've got a few notes that I've written down here in response to these questions that were posed. One of the first things that came to mind was DK's admonition in one of his books, at the end of one of his books, where he says, "Work, my brothers." And this is a time that it's particularly applicable, I think, because of the nature of the times. Also, that we really have to, as Martin was saying, recognize one another in this world group and work together as coherently as possible, and also to avoid the tendency towards comfort and complacency within the ranks of the new group of world servers, or at least the esoteric section of that group. And I think another factor that came to mind was to keep people inspired with a vision of the plan. This is very important, I think, because we tend to see the outer scenery of things through the media and so forth, and it's hard to grasp what is really happening subjectively. So to keep people inspired through a vision of the plan, through education, through internet, through initiatives such as the 2025 initiative, and also actively connecting in one's community as well. Then to address the other question, how can we as the new group of world servers raise our efficiency while holding in alignment with the plan? Partially stated before, it's working more closely with those that we know, share our vision, and to consolidate that as much as possible to really maximize that. To work tirelessly to increase our efficacy as occult meditators in the group. We are really all novice meditators when it comes down to it, and the only way we can get better is to practice. Practice makes perfect, of course. And this is not the point of least resistance for Westerners. As some of you know, I do a newsletter, and I wrote about this 9-year cycle for Wesak back in 2005. You can find it on my website, esotericastrologer.org. And I wrote about it also in the newsletter that I released yesterday for Wesak 2014, which went into an attempted explanation of how we as the new group of world servers can access what is filtering down from Shambhala through hierarchy. And of course, the number 9 is the number of initiation. And the end of this 9-year cycle will be in 2023, which is just a couple of years before 2025, which DK has given as the reappearance of hierarchy. Of course, it's not necessarily going to be in that year. It could be before that year or well after that year. We don't know yet. The hierarchy's plans change. But of course, 2025 is a very important cycle in terms of the meeting of the conclave of Shambhala at the head of the quarter century, of the start of the 4th ray cycle, and so forth and so on. So this 9 years is just around the corner from this momentous planetary event. We are really in the stage of the forerunner par excellence. And as the hierarchy are making their approach, and of course the ushering of the Christ himself, it's going to get more intense as far as the energies go. And for each and every one of us, if we think things are challenging at the moment, it's going to get far more challenging, I think. So, at 1 minute, these three 3-year cycles of crisis and consolidation for the first year, tension and expansion for the second year, emergence and impact on public consciousness for the third year, do correspond to the rays. The first aspect for the first year, the second aspect for the second year, and the third aspect for the third year. And so there could very well be a planetary crisis this year, in this next 12-month period, that may be needed to shake up the crystallized forces that wish to maintain the status quo. And then in 2015, 2016, a wisdom and understanding that flows on from this first phase. In 2016 to 2017, the impact on public consciousness, that which the first year has revealed, has been absorbed and integrated in public understanding. And of course, there are 2 3-year cycles that follow that. So I think we're all being asked to make more sacrifices for this work, and to work tirelessly toward that end. Thank you.
I invite Maria Cristina Amaral from Brazil.
Hello, friends. When I was meditating about the questions for this webinar, it came to my mind that the ending of each cycle and at the beginning of a new one, a good thing is to look behind and see the path just walked, and to check out the road map to verify if the signposts of the path were followed. We need to check if the journey is following the intended directions. It's a good time to verify the right things achieved and the mistakes made. If mistakes were made, one simply turns again to the intended direction. If not, one renews the vows and the purpose and the commitment for the next stage. The ending and beginning of a new cycle is similar to the process of death and rebirth, or death and resurrection. The strength of a new life bursts with all its power at the beginning of a new cycle. The action during these times is also similar to the one of a gardener at the ending of winter, when everything looks dry and dead, and he is sure that spring will come. He cleans the ground, cut the old branches, reorient upwards the branches growing down, and prepare everything for the new season. The renewing of purpose and commitment for this new cycle of the new group is the most important thing that the group can do now. The force of exoplanetary energies and the assembly hierarchy are a great opportunity for humanity to fulfill the purpose of our planetary life. The force of restoration, the light, the love, and the power released at this time offers conditions for a new beginning and a new life on Earth, if they are correctly used by the servers of the plan. The illustration of a new cycle can be seen in the vegetable kingdom when spring arrives. all that seemed dead blossoms to life as if a miracle has happened. The new group of world servers is one of the most outstanding features of humanity. It is a very young Taurian organism that has externalized last century. It's actually the first sign of the externalization of the hierarchy, as the new group constitutes the periphery of the planetary heart center. The birth of the new group is an indication of the advancing spiritual journey of humanity. The appearance of the new group indicates the awakening of the heart of the human kingdom. It also indicates the awakening of the planetary Ajna center. The new group is the heart center of humanity, and it's also the Ajna center of the planetary system. As the heart of humanity, the new group is the seat of the soul. It's the anchoring point of soul energy on Earth. It's the bridge or linking center. At the planetary Ajna, the new group is the receiving and distributing center. The new group is the vehicle for the hierarchy to receive and to distribute. The best thing we can do is to renew our vows, to be a true committed server and a decentralized meditator. It can be said that it's not the individual who is meditating. It's not the small group to which he belongs. He is meditating as a group, as a new group of old servers. The one who truly meditates is a lighted self of the new group of old servers, a lighted and vital soul of the heart of humanity. As visualization is a key factor on the work of meditation, when we work in meditation, we needed to visualize the new group. Our group has been using this image for several years. The new group is represented as a pulsating triangular web made of stars. Each star is a cell of this world organism. It is you as a group or as an individual. When meditating as a group, we can visualize yourself and your group as one with this bright light in the web. And when we do this, we can sound the mantra of the new group. Thank you, friends.
I invite Uta Gebe from Israel.
Hello, friends. The new group of world servers is called upon to lay the foundations for the new civilization and for the sanctification of our planet. And I want to concentrate on what that means for us as individual members, judging from my own life experience. I think that many of you will agree that since the big shift of the festival of the new group of world servers in December 2012, our work has become much easier and more effective. It seems that it has become possible for many of us to hold the vibration of joy and beauty in a relatively stable manner. Joy is like a fluid into which the new qualities can be received easily. And this fluidity helps us to remain in good communication with both hierarchy and our Deva co-workers. And as a result, we create a personal lifestyle, personal life, which reflects the values of the new age. And so this is our individual share of co-creating the new civilization. And it seems well to use the next 9 years of preparation to consolidate this personal skill of joyous fluidity and interdimensional cooperation. Also on the level of group life, I think, we are busy with consolidating and refining our skills. As we are taking up the reins of stewardship for this planet, and as the Aquarian age brings in a more subtle use of the fifth ray, we can foresee a deepening of group experimentation, of working with subtle energies, making our group work much more effective. This may include the scientific and practical use of rayology and astrology, and the various techniques that we have been taught of invocation and evocation and so on, and also conscious and deliberate cooperation with the Devic kingdom in our work of redemptive white magic. And beyond our work, in all these many groups that we are busy with, we are also in training of developing planetary consciousness. Decades of triangles work have laid the foundation for us to perceive the etheric body of the planet as a reality. It has become real to us. And this is the first step, of course, towards consciously and efficiently contributing to the process of sanctifying our planet. The Internet, as an outer manifestation of this planetary etheric body, is of course a major tool for us Aquarian world workers. And as we grow older, it becomes a sacrificial service to remain abreast of technology and use it in ever more creative ways. We learn to work by seeing rather than touching. We learn to work beyond our local work, to remain continuously aware of our planet as a whole. It's like practicing a new muscle. That doesn't mean we will have less local responsibilities, but we will fulfill them in new ways, which will free us to shoulder our new and wider planetary service, which is subjectively and online, and also we may have to create a lifestyle which will allow us to travel more. We will surely create more intergroup projects like the 2025 Initiative and learn to cooperate, imitating the hierarchy. So to sum up, it's holding the vibration of joy on a constant basis as a daily practice, consolidating and refining our skills of group life, and training our awareness of the planetary life, and creating a lifestyle which will enable us to participate in it actively. Thanks.
I invite Lawson Bracewell from New Zealand.
Hello, I love you. It's wonderful seeing all the names on the screen, all people who I either know or have heard of. My main impression as I meditated my way through the last month was the sense of marriage. An image was a gold ring, and we were putting gold rings on each other's fingers, making a commitment based, as many people have said, in a loving recognition and acceptance that we are born and live at this time in order to work in committed service with each other. I think in regards to that, one of the major objectives of the next 9 years is to swell the ranks in terms of those we know, and in every country amass a network, a list, names of those who are members of the new group of world servers. In one of the most encouraging and accepting statements the Tibetan makes in terms of this group, he says it's composed of all those who truly love their fellow men. Millions need to be married. An image that came up for me in terms of something to work with, like the beautiful image that is on the screen, and really extends from it, is the image of needles of light. This is an image which many of us have been working with for the last 20 to 25 years. Imagining each member of the new group of world servers as an acupuncture needle. So emerging from a point, emerging from that place within the hierarchy that we are destined to someday occupy, and then finding our place on the earth in our field of service, an electric communicator of the purpose of this evolving planetary entity. The strongest impulse that came through in my meditations was simply the word training. We have a responsibility, at least those who are strongly affected by the second ray ashram, to engage as actively as possible and at many different levels in the training of those who will help in this great transition into a new civilization. It is a science. It emphasizes the fifth ray. We must train people in the science of the soul, in the practice of white magic. This, of course, is our daily individual practice. But as educators, we have to find more and more simple tools for expressing the basic principles that we live our lives by, the culture that we have embedded in our daily life, the practice of meditation, the practice of purification and healing, the practice of visualization. These are very simple techniques. We have a responsibility to train all those we come in contact with. Thank you very much.
I invite Rudolf Schneider from Geneva, Switzerland.
Hello, dear friends and colleagues. Thank you for inviting me to this group meditation on a global scale and dedicated to the one humanity. I would like to contribute 3 aspects which I think are essential for the ongoing work for the plan. There is, firstly, global governance, then life system education based on a life system approach, and the third aspect is the plan as at present sensed by the masters. The new Director General of the UN in Geneva, His Excellency Michael Möller from Denmark, is very much in favor of a global governance with a human face involving all stakeholders and all kingdoms of nature. So the NGOs can help in this transformation by highlighting the following guiding principles. First, the 5 values to live by. The cosmic rule, do not harm. The human being has no right to harm or to kill. Global welfare for all beings. Basic income for all. The right to life. The golden rule. The right to peace. We can also offer the hierarchical means, great invocation, triangle work, world goodwill activities, Wesak Festival, and of all the books of the Master. And what we also can try to do more and more intensive, to mention as often as possible the existence of the spiritual hierarchy and their work for the planet Earth, based on these principles and others. Life system education, based on a life system approach, is my second point. How can we best make clear the need to transform from a technocratic society to a society that respects life systems, and how to train people of all ages to live with these values, to cooperate with all kingdoms of nature, and to stop over-exploitation of nature. From the atom to the solar system, these are beings. So this may be a new shocking impact for technocratic thinking. For that, we have to develop definitions of technocratic education and life system education. And finally, I want to quote from White Magic: the plan as at present sensed, and for which the masters are steadily working, might be defined as follows. It is a product of a subjective synthesis in humanity and of a telepathic interplay, which will eventually annihilate time. It will make available every man our past achievements and knowledges. It will reveal to man the true significance of his mind and brain and make him a master of this equipment, and will make him, therefore, omnipresent and eventually open the door to omniscience. This next development of the plan will produce in man an understanding, intelligent and cooperative, of the divine purpose for which the one in whom we live and move and have our being has deemed it wise to submit to incarnation. And my final proposal is that we should once a week meditate on Earth stewardship. Thank you.
As good as internet connection can be, it's still not reliable source for connection, and it looks like we lost connection with two of our panelists. So I'm just want to check if Leonid Numerovsky is here now from Ukraine. Then we would wait, and I would invite Lorraine Flower from London, United Kingdom.
Thank you, Alexander, and hello to all the friends on this meditation group tonight. Many of our previous contributors have talked very eloquently about the personal work that each of us as members of the new group of World Service need to do. And I'd like to offer three key thoughts that maybe complement that, but also may bring a slightly different focus as well. The first thought is what I believe to be an urgent need and indeed an opportunity at this time to focus on the right relationship with money to facilitate the plan. Money may seem like an odd thing to bring at this point. I'll talk more about that in a moment. The second key area that I will talk about is the vital importance of the groups that we belong to and others that we may yet form in raising consciousness. And a number of our speakers have commented on that. And the third area is the need for us as members of the new group of world servers to be out in humanity doing the work, and to do that work through all schools and all areas of humanity's endeavour. So let me come back first of all to why money. Money, as we know, is a dense form of energy, and in that dense form facilitates many of our creative endeavours. Humanity as a whole has, I think we could agree, a generally dysfunctional relationship with money, distorted into power, manipulation, fear, greed, and scarcity. And the recent financial crises, particularly in Western economies and more globally across the world, indicate the depth and scale of the problem, and yet also the opportunity. By having a healthy relationship with money as an energy form, we enable the manifestation of the plan on a concrete level. A couple of our speakers have spoken about the power of the heart and operating from the heart, and we can use that symbology to think about the circulation of money. DK says that the clue to the establishment of the world order lies hid in this symbology, the circulation of the bloodstream, free circulation of all that is needed to all parts of the great framework of humanity. The blood is the life, and free interchange, free sharing, and free circulation of all that is required for right human living will. Of all that is required for right human living will characterize the world to be. So money sits at the heart of our ability to manifest the plan in some areas. So the importance of groups, my second key thought. Well, we've spoken about groups quite a bit already. And group consciousness, the balance of both vertical and horizontal alignment, is the pinnacle of our evolutionary journey, the journey back to Shambhala and oneness. We achieve that by working with groups, local and on a more global scale. Conscious groups mobilize creative energies to best effect by disidentifying with ourselves as individuals and focusing our energies on the groups within humanity with which we are called to share, enables us to cooperate, build alignment, focus, discipline, and an openness to the plan, in which we are supported by the Aquarian energies. And my final thought is that we, as servers, need to be out in humanity doing the work and raising consciousness, especially around the need for the free circulation of money, energy, and the elimination of a scarcity mindset. As DK tells us, disciples learn to work with the plan by working. Thank you.
I invite Kathy Newburn from New York, United States.
Thank you, Sasha, and thank you all of the presenters and the audience as well. I have the difficult task of presenting anything new after all of the eloquent speakers who've come before me, and who've used all of the ideas that I've had to say. So perhaps I'll just touch briefly as a means of repetition of some of the key points. It seems to me that the cycles of a century are easily divided by 4, and so we're now in the first part of that century. And sometimes I like to compare that to the cycles in the year. And so this first part of the century perhaps could be compared to the time between the winter solstice and the spring equinox, which in the cycles of the breath is the period of in-breathing, the in-breathing, as we reach towards that period of pause, which is the higher interlude, the high point of the spiritual year, beginning with the Aries festival, the Taurus festival, and the Gemini festival. So we're working collectively in this period of in-breathing. The sun is moving northward. We're gaining in strength to undertake the the real tasks that will occur perhaps during this higher interlude period between 2025 and 2050. Because we know, as the Tibetan has said, that in the conclave in 2025, it won't necessarily be the time for the beginning of the externalization, but it will be the time when hierarchy decides about the timing of that externalization. So what we do, we're told that all eyes are on humanity at this time, waiting for us to awaken to the opportunity of this great period of preparation for the hierarchical conclave. So humanity holds the key. What we do in this next 9-year cycle, as well as the next 11-year cycle, will determine the timing for the externalization and the subsequent reappearance of the world teacher. So it certainly is a key moment. And I agree with Martin's comments that this period seems to have a real will aspect flavor to it, a Shambhala flavor to it. It is, as we know, the birth of any cycle is defined by the energies that are apparent during the birth. And so because this is in the cycles of the 3, 9, and 27-year conditioned by crisis, that gives it that will aspect. So I would agree with Martin that perhaps this next period will be about breaking up old forms, and the astrological signature of the Uranus-Pluto square seems to also indicate that. I would conjecture that the next period will be quite difficult, and I also agree with the previous speaker that perhaps it will manifest along the financial line, because we understand from the teachings that the number one principle that must be implemented by humanity in order to make way for the externalization and the reappearance is the implementation of the principle of sharing. And although we see many instances of this, they're more within the nonprofit sectors and the individual sectors, but not yet manifesting within the corporate world or within the governments of the world to the extent that they should be. And so perhaps there will be some form of crisis within the economic field that will serve to break up the present lockdown of the purse strings of the planet, so that we as a collective can begin to right the present imbalances on planet Earth, which are really the key difficulty, it seems to me, at this time. And of course, paralleling that outer sharing, as many of the previous speakers have said, there needs to be a recognition more deeply felt and practiced among the esotericists of the world to implement the principle of sharing, of the life aspect, of standing in solidarity and brotherhood with our group and building those lines of lighted communication between groups, so that through our brotherhood we can, on a higher turn of the spire, allow the principle of sharing to work out, so that humanity can find some relief from the tremendous need in which so many find themselves at this time. Thank you.
So far, we don't have a connection with Sergei Smirnov from Russia. And on his behalf, Katya Kaufman will share a few ideas of the month-long meditation.
Hello. I still hope that there will be a connection because actually Russian group right now is in Darjeeling and they're meditating, and we had a conversation a little earlier. Somehow there's a problem with electricity, whatever it is. They're trying to reconnect, but so far unsuccessfully. But one of the 2 points that we were discussing with Sergei before, he sees as a very important point to work with etheric centers, with the group centers, when the group is working together, to the technique of aligning individual centers to the group centers and to the centers of the new group. And as well, he was talking about the technique of potentiating. He had already spoken about that many times, and it seems like they have good results. The idea is that we could fully use the energies that we're connecting with, and we can potentiate the events and the presence of those energies, specifically because for those energies that there is no time. So we can connect and reach those energies at any given time, but if we consciously aligning ourselves with those energies. So those would be 2 practical things that we discussed. And I hope that, there will be still a connection and Sergei get to say whatever he wanted to say, particularly. Thank you.
We still don't have a connection with another group in Zaporizhia in Ukraine. They will connect to the webinar and will share their impressions during the open floor after the meditation. And now I want to invite Riza D'Angelis from California, United States.
Thank you, Alexander. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me? Good. Hello, everyone. Everyone, I want to say that standing behind me is our group, and we were in impressive meditation for an entire month. And before I begin, I want to acknowledge all of us as the collective, as one world group, and that we all know so much information. In that identification and recognition, I'd like to begin with a mantram. We recite this mantram each morning in our morning meditation, where we include the new group of world servers all over the world. Let us realize always that by our individual effort, that each of us invokes into the consciousness of this one great group information and instruction, and therefore certain areas of wisdom which would not find its way into the group if it were not for each of us. Therefore, let us know in gratitude that we each make our contribution to this group via our presence, which is an invocative force to the wisdom, intelligence, love, and willingness, to the health and the harmony, to the creativity and beauty of this group, the new group of world servers. And so moving into the objectives and the impressions and the needs and effectiveness of our group. As we shared our impressions, let us realize we are participating in the principle of sharing, and that is the foundation of the new materialism for the new Aquarian age. We realized, as we did our work together, that before the objectives came forth, we must identify the needs of humanity. And here is a list of them. We must help humanity face the dweller on the threshold, its ancient and past mistakes. The Tibetan writes that the Aryan race must face the dweller individually, within the group, and then within humanity itself, redeeming our ancient mistakes and our ancient karma through forgiveness, love, and service. And through this, we begin to understand the true meaning of mindfulness. We must assist humanity in understanding the economic situation in the world, assisting humanity as it goes through the first initiation, working itself out in the economic breakdown, helping humanity through education to dissipate Maya, glamour, and illusion, to educate humanity in terms of the world situation beyond the media, and most of all, to educate our children. We need to take a greater role in educating the youth, instilling the Aquarian laws and principles, recognizing each youth as an individual, acknowledging the individual value based on our inherent divinity. We must assist humanity in the creation of goodwill, which leads to right human relations. For humanity to bring forth goodwill, we, the new group of world servers, must align and radiate with the will to good, which then calls forth goodwill within the hearts of humanity. Above all of these, we found in our impressions the most important need was education. The Tibetan writes, the goal of education is enlightenment, and this specifically is appropriate at this time of Taurus, when the forces of enlightenment stream in. Taurus is the mother of illumination. The education of children is specifically addressed in Education in a New Age and in Problems of Humanity. We must place an emphasis upon those young children under 16. We must strengthen the good within them. We must develop new attitudes and techniques that make children truly human and constructive in the human family. We must eliminate competition, allow for cooperation and consciousness to emerge, and develop within them responsibility and freedom from fear. There is much more about the education. In terms of our efficiency, we must stand at the very center of love. We must think no thought and dream no dream that could harm our brothers and sisters and thereby dim their light. We must see our brothers and sisters in the light and walk with them towards the light. I want to end with two mantras. We are part of a great work. We are the bearers of the new seeds. Therefore, let us water them together with the pure waters of our inner life. These seedlings will then express the cosmic promise for humanity. We are not alone. The time has come for a turn in evolution, and the forces for this have been gathered and brought together. The great teachers tell us, learn to apply your best efforts, and in this labor accept our greetings and our help. Welcome to all seeders of the common good. Our voice points to the path to be followed, summoning you to the cries of those in need. Our voice calls you to service and reveals the light to you. Enter the flame. The time is now. You have our blessings. Thank you, everyone.
And we seem to got Sergey back on the connection, so we'll try to bring him now to share. Serge?
Okay, yes. As Sasha already said, our group is in Darjeeling, and we are meditating with New Group of World Service, connecting our center Darjeeling with New York and London, making triangle, and we hope that you support us in this work. Katya already explained that the most important from our point of view is the skill of working through group centers in connecting with each other. And when we are working, we're connecting our group centers with the centers of New Group of World Service, so we can share our experience with all disciples all over the world, and we can use the potentials of New Group in our work. The second, what we intend to do in the future is to store this energy of full moons, energy of science, in some volumes, special volumes which we can use in the future. For example, in next years, so we can connect the year 2014 with the years, for example, 2016, 20, 2023. So we have a straight line from 2014 till 2023. All what I want to say was already said by the previous authors, so I can only add my thanks and thanks of my group to the work of the other groups and other workers. So all of what we can do, we are doing now, and this great change which happened in 2012 in the Festival of New Group of World Service, the great change from the law of ancient evil to the law of overwhelming good. That is changed all our methods of work. We are now not trying to resist the evil, but now we are working with sharing of results of our meditations, and I think all what we are doing, we just continue to do what we are doing. And from Russian point of view, everything is going well now. And we will meet in Arizona, we will meet in different other places, we will meet on these webinars, and these meetings are, I think, the most important what we are doing now, because we understand each other, and we understand people from Brazil, we understand people from United States, from Asia, from Australia, from Africa. So if we can understand each other in the most difficult topics, so the people which are all over the world have possibility to understand each other in the more simple things. So the more we will cooperate, the more the people in the world will not compete, but work together. That's all.
I invite Philip Lindsay to lead us into the meditation. Philip, please unmute your microphone.
Can you hear me now, Alex?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yeah, and
is that better than before?
yes, it's a bit better. Just please try to keep your voice high. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because there was a feedback.
The volume okay?
Yes, it's good.
Very good.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, group brothers and sisters, let us prepare ourselves for the Wesak meditation. Starting with our individual integration, focusing our attention in the head, visualizing the light of the mind, integrating the personality. And sound 3 ohms, illuminating the mental body. Purifying the astral body. And strengthening the etheric body. Visualize the threefold personality now, cohesive and integrated with vivified light. Group fusion. We affirm the fact of group fusion and integration within the heart center of a new group of world servers, mediating between hierarchy and humanity. I am one with my group brothers, and all that I have is them. May the love which is in my soul pour forth to them. May the strength which is in me lift and aid them. May the thoughts which my soul creates reach and encourage them. Alignment. Connecting the planetary centers and building the planetary anticorona, we project a line of lighted energy towards the spiritual hierarchy of the planet, the planetary heart, the great ashram of Sanakumara, and towards the Christ at the heart of hierarchy. projecting a line of light event towards the spiritual hierarchy, to the Christ, the heart of hierarchy. Contacting the energy of the will, getting impressed by the purpose. Linking with one another as lines of light over the entire planet. As one motivated, dedicated, focused group of meditators. And we continue this line of light towards the hierarchy and extend it towards Shambhala, the center where the will of God is known. The radiant head center of the planet. With these centers of humanity, the new group of world servants, the hierarchy and Shambhala, all aligned with one another. We become aware of that great meditating group of masters of wisdom in the Wesak Valley, in the presence of the Buddha, Kumara, and the Christ. We join them in joyful meditation. Having thought about this a moment, we move to the higher interlude, bringing down the will energy and blending it with love, uniting Shambhala and hierarchy, contemplating the plan as it is conceived in the mind of God. We hold the contemplative mind open to the extra planetary energy streaming into Shambhala, uniting purpose and plan, implementing the will by love. Hold the contemplative mind open to the extraplanetary energies, streaming into Shambhala, uniting purpose and plan. Implementing the will by love. Meditation. Visualize the three planetary centers, Shambhala, hierarchy, and humanity, gradually coming into alignment and interplay and working together. Being aware of the role of a new group of world servers, mediating between hierarchy and humanity. We blend the energies of will, love, and intelligence. Shambhala, hierarchy, and humanity. And we reflect upon the seed thought for Taurus. I see, and when the eye is opened, all is light. I see, and when the eye is opened, all is light. I see, and when the eye is opened, all is light. Precipitation. Using the creative imagination, visualize the energies of light, love, and the will to good pouring through the mental plane, giving life to all forms aligned with the plan. Visualize the will of God becoming anchored on earth in prepared physical plane centers through which the plan can manifest. Visualize the planetary outer corona precipitating the will energy onto the mental plane and giving life to our creative forms. Imagine the sixfold progression of divine love as a sequence of energy precipitation. Shambhala, hierarchy, the Christ, the new group of world service, men and women of goodwill everywhere in the world. And the physical centers of distribution, the 5 planetary inlets. Let us refocus the consciousness as a group within the periphery of the great ashram. Visualize the downpouring spiritual inflow released from Shambhala through the hierarchy and streaming into humanity through the prepared channel. Visualize the irradiation of love upon the astral plane. And together sound the affirmation. In the center of all love I stand. From that center I, the soul, will outward move. From that center I, the one who serves, will work. May the love for the divine self be shed abroad in my heart, through my group, and throughout the world. Let us reflect upon how these inpouring energies are establishing the pathway of light for the coming world teacher, Christ. This pathway of light for the coming world teacher. This pathway of light for the next 9 years. Reflect upon our discussion today, how we can apply these factors to creating this pathway of light. distribution. Let us as a group now sound the great invocation, visualizing the outpouring of light and love and power from the spiritual hierarchy through the 5 planetary centers: London, Darjeeling, New York, Geneva, and Tokyo, irradiating the consciousness of the whole human race. And let us pause half a minute between each stanza of the great invocation and reflect upon what each stanza means. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth.
We now have 3 minutes for reflection, writing down our impressions to share them afterwards. So now we open the floor for sharing impressions, and there are several ways how we can do that. One is that we invite those who wants to share to raise your hand. It's a button on your control panel, and you will be unmuted. By default settings, all attendees are muted, because if everyone would be unmuted, it would be a lot of sound reverberation. So we have to unmute everyone. And I invite panelists to regulate their microphone themselves. And also, there is a Google document that's been created for sharing of the impressions. You can see the link to this Google document on your chat window on your control panel. So you can open this document and just write down there your impressions, and it will help us to summarize group impressions later on. And also you can share your impressions on our Facebook page. Now I will unmute those panelists whom I had to mute during the first part of our webinar and invite you to unmute yourself. And so far we have 3 people who would like to share their impressions. So I will unmute Bob Shichovek. Hi, Bob. Okay. I'm not sure if it's your hand was raised by mistake or not, but you unmuted and you can speak now. And meanwhile,
Bob is just saying that his microphone is out of order. He's unfortunately unable to talk.
Okay, thank you, Amir. And then I will unmute Julia Tarnowski from New Zealand. Hi, Julia.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hello, Alexander. It's lovely to hear your voice and to be part of this. What I want to say is that I was just got a bit of an illumination from that phrase, all those who truly love their fellow men. And what came to me was that we have a huge privilege and responsibility in our secondary ashram of having a deep subjective unity through our path of group meditation, study, education and healing, to affirm and encourage our brothers and sisters working in all of the 7 ashrams in their leading edges towards global sharing and responsibility and sustainability. I'm talking about people like engineers, biologists, economists, those amongst our friends who truly love their fellow men and yet don't have the knowledge that we have in part of the plan. I think we can extend our sharing, our support, our affirmation to them, because we recognize from our hearts that they also truly love their fellow men.
Thank you for sharing. I will unmute Alexis Harvey. Your hand been raised for quite a while. I'm not sure if it's a mistake or not. Anyway, hello.
Oh,
Alexis?
hi.
Hi.
No, that was a mistake.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Hi.
Hello.
I didn't raise my hand. That was a mistake.
I see. Okay, no problem. So I will unmute Christine Moore. Christine, your microphone is muted by yourself, so you can unmute yourself. Christine? Yes, now we can hear you.
This technology is is a bit much, and I am using a cell phone only. The sound is good, but I have had difficulty through several of your sessions, and of course today, hearing the presenters. You are coming in clear, but most do not. So I'm not sure how you intend to help me, but my phone does a very that I am able to hear.
We can hear you clearly, so you can. Do you have any impressions you would like to share?
That it becomes for me to participate because I can't hear. But my thoughts of the last person speaking, I originally came from a communications background. In school, I took a class called Communicative Networks, and it was a kind of a pilot program, and I'm thinking that this group exemplifies that very well. You identify a node in a group, and then the nodes interact with each other. I am sitting here without a group, not in an ashram, coming off of 15 years of being on a path through theosophy. I just need some direction as to how I can connect to one of these groups. Did I lose you?
No, I could hear you. It's a very interesting topic that you brought up of communication, and actually our next webinar, it will be communication in New Age, and I will talk about that at the end of this webinar. And so probably we could explore this topic together next full moon of Gemini. And of your question about the group, you have one already, you said, so it's, and you know about subjective connection, so there is a subjective group that we're all part of.
I feel connected to all. I became a theosophist 15 years ago. Have done my studies out into the Rays and Alice Bailey and many other places, but I have kind of left that group, and I feel more connected to you. But I don't know where you are.
We can let's get in touch via email, and we can continue this communication. Like our website is 2025initiative.org, and there is a contact form with our information in the back, so we could, on the last page of the website. So I would be interested to continue this conversation with you.
Exactly what I'm asking for. 2025, and is that the website? 2020.
Yes, you can see it on the screen. Yes.
Christine, on the chat window, you'll see the website link.
Not on my cell phone, I can't.
I'll send you an email. I've got your email address. I'll send you an email right now with the website link, okay?
Okay. Yes, you've identified my email.
Thank you.
Yes, I've identified you.
Thank you, Christine. I see, Kathy, you unmuted yourself. Did you want to share something? Probably not, but you're welcome anytime to step into sharing. And I will unmute Maria Cristina Donadieu from Arizona. Maria Cristina.
Hello to everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we do.
I will share the following thoughts. Starting with the festival week of the new group of world servers this last December of 2012 came to mind greatly today because it gave such great impetus not only to that growing group consciousness, but at that time the focus was on the possibility of the group of groups. It came really clearly through. The law of magnetic attraction seemed to be very activated. And today's gathering of souls and servers is just, I am very thankful, a wonderful expression of this wonderful coming together of groups, expressive of great love, enabling us not only to work with the mind, but through the mind, and so extending into the Buddhic realms, as Martin mentioned. As this law of magnetic union comes into place, it really leads to the ability for us to function as a synthetic group of groups, to take a stand, to take our place within and as a newly firing petal within a center of the planetary logos. The co-creative expression is just enhanced, and as mentioned by the presenters, can be expressed through technology, the media, finance, economic sharing, and also as we work from the realm of the Buddhic, we learn to work and co-create with the Devic. And I am reminded, or one of the higher psychic powers which the Tibetan tells us we need to develop comes to mind, and I will quote, "The correct manipulation of force, involving therefore an understanding of the types and qualities of force, and their right creative weaving into service upon the outer plane." And this again was reflected by some of the speakers, including Sergey. And lastly, I would really like to thank Uta for her acknowledgement and affirmation of the growing sense of joy. And to you, Alexander, and to everyone that is participating. Hello, dear ones. Love you all.
Thank you, Maria Cristina. It's so good to hear you.
That's all.
Is anyone else would like to share your impressions? You would need to raise your hand.
Yes, Sasha, me,
Yes, Uta.
Uta.
Yeah.
I would like to express my gratefulness for this initiative, for what I perceive, at least for me, this is, as I shared with Sasha before, this is for me the most synthetic voice box, outer expression, meeting place of the new group of world servers that I know, that I'm aware of. So I'm grateful for it. And for our meeting today, it was very powerful. I was wondering about how to make this meeting. I just want to give my own impression without knowing how to answer this question. But my question is, could we have a meeting with less words? I found it a bit difficult to hear all these words. But I know that it is important that we get to know each other and that we share our ideas, our insights. It's really very important. So it's an open question. I don't know what to say about this. Yeah, but just the sense of togetherness, of common purpose, common commitment, this really sincere commitment that comes through, and that what Lawson also stressed, you know, we are married, all of us together in this task of stewardship of this planet. So it's really touching the heart. Thank you.
It's a very valid question, and it's really open question. So let's see what comes as the response. But I hear you, yeah, definitely. There are a few more hands raised, so I will unmute Andrea. Hello?
I just wanted to, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we do. Hello, Andrea? It seems we've lost you. Okay. Maybe you would could reconnect a bit later.
Oh, beautiful image, so that's all.
Oh, Andrea, it seems that we missed most part of what you said. There was a problem with the connection. The only thing we heard was the beautiful image at the end of your sharing. Hello, can you hear me, Andrea?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, can you please just repeat what you said? I'm sorry, there was a problem with connection. We couldn't hear you.
I wanted to thank each of the speakers, and the impression that I had during the meditation was all of our groups throughout the world walking into the Wesak Valley and joining with other groups not on this call today. It was just a beautiful image during the meditation. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We could hear you this time. Thank you. I will unmute Flavia Mendonca. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Flavia.
Okay. I would like to present only some thoughts concerning the money issue, because I think really this is the moment in history when we have to really change our paradigms involving money. And considering this history way of seeing it, money has certainly appeared after the exchange phase, when in the beginning only people could exchange what they had. And maybe if someone needs something every day and the other people have something to give only 1 or 2 months, this trust has been substituted by money. That means money has appeared in history in a moment when trust between each other has started to disappear. And this is the most heavy way in the money concept. Another thing is the money, after we started using it, it provides the opportunity to accumulation, useless accumulation of money. And this is the other problem we have to face and solve as a paradigm shifting. And this really is the time, is the era to find another, not only another financial system as so many groups are looking for, but really to see money only as a useful tool to continue the exchange. The exchange must come back to the needs everyone has and to the everything that anyone can give, and money has to be down valued in this way. Okay, this is what I would like to share and propose the continuing thoughts in this way. Thank you.
Thank you, Flavio.
Hello?
Yes, thank you very much. We could hear you, yes.
This is Risa.
Yes, Risa.
I wanted to respond to Uta and how she said she wanted a few less words. And as a teacher, we all learn differently. And for me, hearing everyone's words is extraordinary. The more the better for me, because I get to know each one of you, and then I get a sense of your group. And I feel like that we have to gain experience with each other as the new group of world servers. This is a new endeavor that we began in 2012. So as we talk and communicate and share and reveal ourselves more, as we pose questions and study, we get to know each other more. And this, to me, creates a more cohesive group. We develop self-knowledge in our groups. We understand each other more. And in this communication, which is new to us, a new endeavor, we achieve control and mastery of ourselves and of our groups. And I think that this reflects evolution. So I wanted to say, for me, I would like more words, more study, more coming together, more discussion within all of us around the world. This would expand our consciousness. I think we're used to being alone as groups. However, now we're coming together as one group. And the hearing of each other's voices carries a tone and a purpose. And we absorb and love each other more.
Thank you, Risa. We now already exceeded our time that we announced before for the webinar, but there are more people who wanted to share. I just want to say that because this is a format of open floor, that whenever you feel to leave, please do. But those who want to stay a little bit longer, we will keep the platform running, and so we could keep sharing. And just before going to continue our sharing, I want to say about our coming webinar, which I already mentioned, that our next webinar will be in Gemini Solar Festival webinar on June 11th, and it will be communication in the new age. Very important topic, as we discussed before. And it will be with Kathy Newburn, representing Lucis Trust New York office, and Justin Wilkinson, representing Alignment Media. And so please join us for that conversation. And just to continue this conversation, there was a raised hand from Sharon, which disappeared again, but just in case, I will unmute Sharon.
There we go. Good. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Sharon.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Okay. Thanks, Sasha. You know, I typed it into the little box that we usually type it into, but anyway, since my microphone seems to be working, let me just share that a thought actually came to mind of, and it's a quote by one of my Facebook friends, had it on her wall, and it was by Carl Jung, being quoted as saying that no tree can grow to heaven unless its roots reach down to hell. And so the idea comes, or the notion comes, that the new group of world servers could be viewed like a tree. And as each of us becomes more fully aware of each other, as Risa was saying, as we hear each other's voice and we become more real, and we're able to identify with being part of that tree, that maybe we will perhaps be able to grow more decentralized, actually, because of this connection, and with our roots then reaching down to hell in service and in understanding, while at the same time growing as a group to great heights. So may it be so. Thanks, Sasha.
Thank you, Sharon. I can share my own impressions that actually came yesterday. We had a full moon meeting here in New York, and we discussed the fact that as the will energy of the first ray comes, we learn to work with it. And interesting that besides disciples who have a potential to work with this energy and have a task of working with this energy, Tibetan says in esoteric astrology that the people who have a strong Leo focus of their personality, they have potential and ability to work with the first ray force. And those Leo personalities, those who have strong selfish ambitions. And so we know that those political leaders, those are all sorts of leaders, including criminal leaders. And so they have the potential to work with that. And they actually do work with that, he says. And so for us as disciples, it's important to remember that if we're not going to do our part of the work, that those brothers of ours on a selfish path, they are there for that energy and they work for that. And more to the point, their life depends on that. And so they're really good in working with that energy. And so the impression came to in our meditation was that we as disciples should work as if our life would depend on that, how good we are working with that energy, and not just with that energy, but just doing our work, whatever our individual or our group's works is in whatever field it is. So I would put that as one of the immediate objectives for us, to start have that attitude towards our work as if our life would depend on that, and not just our life, but the life of this planet. And we all know that it's truly so. I would remind you about the Google document that now up and running, and where everyone invited to paste or write your impressions in, and it would be our collective result of our collective work today. And the link to this Google Doc you can see in the chat window. Is there any other impressions anyone would like to share? I will unmute Katja Kaufmann.
Just wanted to say briefly that the impression from this meditation and from the other meditations that we had recently is the sense of purpose, the vision of the purpose and the presence of the purpose. And especially it, I think, concerns the world of the new group. There's a will to contribute around us. And to me, that is a sure sign that the plan is being precipitated by the group. And also, I wanted to suggest that, if nobody wants to say anything anymore, maybe we could have as a group, several minutes of silence, silent, joined, being together. I mean, we have it on a subjective plane, but it is very fulfilling an event just to be together online and being in each other presence.
This is Risa again. I really like that idea. In the morning time when we have our meditation, our group's been meditating for 8 years every single day. We call in the new group of world servers into what we call as the ashram. And we see the new group of world servers coming in from wherever they are all over the world. And each one of us holds a chalice. So that visualization of the new group of world servers is vital to our connecting with everyone all over the world. So in this silence, I like the idea of doing that, the visualizing of all of us connected.